All right, friends, we're live. We're going to begin. Volunteer from the back to light candles, please. Because every time I ask someone, they say no. So you can take it up with God. You don't want to fulfill a mitzvah, take it up with God.
Flip the coin. I won. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hai v'ner shel
All right, let's continue. Page 6 with the responsive reading. May the door of the synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship.
May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture.
May the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity.
May its threshold be stumbling block to God's straying feet.
May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness.
May this synagogue be all
All right, we'll jump ahead to page 20. Page 20. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, ishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad. L'shem tiferet v'zitila, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei shabbat nekabela, likrat shabbat lechu v'necha, ki mekor ha'bracha, merosh mikedem nehesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila, lecha dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela, mikdah hashmelech yimelucha, kumitzi mitohafecha, rav la hachshevet b'yemecha b'cha, v'hu yachamol alaychem lecha dodi ligrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela, itnahari me'afar kumi, Livshi b'deiti fartehe chami, Agyad b'nishai b'talachmi, Gor ba'el nafshi ge'ala, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei shabbat nekabela, Hitorori, Ki va'orek kumihi ori, Ori, shir daberi, Kavod Adonai alayich nigla, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei shabbat nekabela, Lo tevoshi, v'lo tikolmi, Mahatish tochachi matehemi, Bach yechesu, Aniyehe ami, V'nihiv netayir al tila, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei shabbat nekabela, V'hayu l'shimsa shohosayich, V'rahachaku kol mevalayich, Yasi salayich Elohayich, Ki imsos chatan al kala, Lecha dodi likrat kala, B'nai Shabbat Nikabela, Yamin U'Smol Tifotzi, V'et Adonai Taritzi, Al Yaharish Ben Partzi, V'ni Smecha V'Nagila, Lecha Dodi Likrat Allah, B'nai Shabbat Nikabela, Boi b'shalom ateret bala, Gam b'simcha u'sola, Tochem unei am segula, Boi chala, Lecha dodi likrat Allah, B'nei Shabbat nikabela. Page 22, let's read that outdented paragraph together. A song for Shabbat. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night. With a 10-stringed harp, with voice and lyre together, you have gladdened me by your deeds, Adonai. I shout for joy at your handiwork. How great are your works, Adonai! How very subtle your designs. A brute cannot know, a fool cannot understand this. Tzadik katamar yifrach, ke'erez balvanon yiskeh, shetulim meveit Adonai, bechatzrot Eloheinu Yahafrihu, O Jenuvu B'Seva, B'Shenim V'Ra'ananim Yiyu Lehagi, Ki Ashar Adonai Tzuri V'Lo Aflatapo. Page 24. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShaharei, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitkhem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Please rise, page 146. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Elohim Va'ed. Let's read together on 147. Adonai, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Day follows day in endless succession, and the years vanish, but your sovereignty endures. Though all things pass, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you and endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Agavim. Page 148, let's read responsively in the English. In each age we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment we are addressed by the world. In each age we add our wisdom to that which has gone before. At each moment the knowing heart is filled with wonder. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levacha, u'b'chol nafshecha, u'b'chol me'odecha, v'hayu advarim ha'eleh, asher anochi mitzavecha, hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, V'shivtecha b'veitecha, uvlektecha b'derech, uvshoktecha uvkumecha, uvshartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uv'yisharecha, leman tizkeruhu Vasitem et kol mitzvotai, vitem kedoshim leloechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Page 151, let's read responsively. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all. Before our eyes, there's a vision of perfection, order, and goodness. When will redemption come? Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High.
We learn that
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh, nohorati lot osef eleh, malchutecha ra'u banecha, bokeyam lifnei Moshe, zeli anu v'amru, Adonai yimloch Le'olam va'ed, v'nehemar kifad Adonai et Yaakov, u'galom yad chazak mimenu, baruch atah Adonai, ga'al Yisrael. Top of 153, the first two lines. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu v'shalom, V'ha'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, V'ha'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim. And together, give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are our true protection and safety. In your presence, we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'porei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Page 154 at the top. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-shabbat, la'asot et ha-shabbat ledorotam berit olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-shabbat, la'asot et ha-shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti li Olam. Vishamru Bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat לדורותם בריתו עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריתו עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריתו עולם. Please rise, page 155, the Amidah. Adonai sifatai tifach ufi yagi tehillateh. Adonai sifatai tifach ufi yagi tehillateh. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor V'Anorah, El Elyon, Omer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevio El Ibnei Bneihem, L'Man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Yoshia U'Magin, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, Yisrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayim Eitim Atarav L'Hoshia, Mashif HaRuach, U'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechayim Eitim B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Vishenei Afar, Michamocha B'Gevorot, Umidom Melach, Melech Mimit, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, B'ne'eman Atah l'chayim meitim, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hameitim. Page 160, let's read together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may we all live in such a way that this day fulfills its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 163, let's read responsively. For the good in us which calls us to a better life, we give thanks. For the desire in us which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful. Page 164. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Yatahu Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Hamcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Hamcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'necha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Hamcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Hamcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Praise are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael. Shalom. Middle of page 253. Middle of 253. Mi shebeirach avoteinu mikor habracha laimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi shebeirach imotenu mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Page 258, prayers of our community. Maury, how about the prayer for our congregation?
Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these passions from us: love of Torah, devotion and prayer, and support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy.
Baruch atah Adonai, shotecha levacha v'yirah na'avod. Elizabeth, how about the prayer for our country?
O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit.
Amen.
Amen. Shalom, shalom, Yerushalayim, Yishlayu Avayich. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. Lavinu Shabbat Sur Yisrael V'Goalo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Tzmichat Geulatenu, Hagen Aleha B'Yafrat Chasdecha, Ufros Aleha Sukat Shlomecha, Ushlach Orcha V'Amitecha L'Rasheha, Sareha V'Yoetzeha. V'Taknem Be'etzah Tova L'Fanecha, V'Natata Shalom Ba'aretz, V'Simchat Olam Liyoshveha, Namar, Amen. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. This week we begin a new book of the Torah, focusing on a new chapter in the life of Bnei Yisrael. It's the rise of Bnei Yisrael as a nation. Yaakov and his sons have all died, and there's a new Pharaoh in town, one who doesn't know Yosef. If there was a new Pharaoh, he wouldn't know Yosef, but there's one, the commentators are split, whether it's a new one or it's the same one that knew Yosef, but now he doesn't think it's so good to say that he knew Yosef. He enslaves the people. He enslaves the Bnei Yisrael out of fear because they have become prolific. They have done a lot of multiplying while they're in the land of Goshen, and he fears that they may join with another nation and rise up against him. Therefore, he orders all the male children to be drowned in the Nile. There's one woman who defies this decree, and she puts her son in a basket, a teva, which is the same word used for Noah's Ark, a teva. And so she floats him down the Nile. Bat Paro, Pharaoh's daughter, finds the basket. She saves the child and adopts him and names him Moshe. He grows up in Pharaoh's court. Not 100% sure if he knew he was an Israelite, but he grows up in Pharaoh's court. And one day he sees an Egyptian beating an Israelite, and he kills him. And then Pharaoh orders Moshe, the killer, to be put to death. And so Moshe flees to the land of Midian, where he meets Yitro, a local high priest, and marries his daughter, Zipporah. Like the great character Abraham, Moshe meets God in the middle of nowhere via a burning bush. God tells Moshe, I promise to free Bnei Yisrael. Moshe's not so impressed. He fears that he won't succeed. God says, go and talk. And Moshe says, no, I'm not a man of words. So God teaches him a couple of neat tricks, how to turn his staff into a snake and how to turn his arm white. And then after Moshe complains a little bit more about not being a man of words, God says, Aharon, your older brother, will accompany you. Moshe and Aharon return to Mitzrayim, and Pharaoh is not impressed. Not with Moshe's words, not with Moshe's parlor tricks, and he increases the workload of Bnei Yisrael. Moshe complains to God, setting up another 4 books worth of narrative, because that's what happens when anytime Moshe or Bnei Yisrael gets into a little trouble, they complain to God, and God promises Moshe that the people will be liberated. And that ends the first parsha of the book of Shemot, the new book in the Torah. I have tried to stop reading the newspaper and watching the news because there's very little good news in the world. But I've been looking at the images coming from California, and they're like from an image. The images are from a nightmare. Not even Hollywood could come up with something as horrifying as what we have been seeing on the news. And I can barely bring myself to look at the images. Many of the images I'm familiar with, having spent 4 years out in LA. I knew the Pasadena Jewish Center. I know the Palisades. I know where a lot of these homes were that have been destroyed. And it's very, very horrifying. And I can't look at them just because they're horrifying. And it's not just because I spent time there, but it just seems so random. It seems so unnecessary. 12 churches, mosques, and synagogues, temples, and other religious institutions have been lost. Not to mention the homes, the houses, the businesses, and the entire neighborhoods that no longer exist in Los Angeles. And if you turn on, I don't know what the news you watch is, but it's a normal posturing and pontification, right? They're ready to pass blame on everyone and everything and offer no solutions. They're sending thoughts and prayers, again, worthless in these kinds of things. And they're always asking, well, where is God? Well, God doesn't do anything until we act. And there's a story that I've been reflecting on all week, or at least this week, from 1 Kings chapter 19. It's part of the Elijah story. And Elijah has a vision. Elijah meets with God, and we're told, V'hinei Adonai over v'ruach gedolah v'chazak mefarek harim u'mishaber salaim lifnei Adonai. And lo, God passed by, and there was a great and mighty wind, splitting mountains and shattering rocks by God's power. V'lo v'ruach Adonai, but God was not in the wind. V'achar haruach ra'ash lo v'ra'ash Adonai. And after the wind, and God was not in the wind. And after the wind, there was an earthquake, and God was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, fire. Uva'achar ha'esh kol demama daka. But God was not in the fire. And after the fire, a still small voice. In all the big events that Elijah had in his vision, God was not there. God wasn't in the fire. God wasn't in the wind. God wasn't in the shattering of the mountains. But when all was done, when everything was quiet, there was a still small voice. So where is God when it comes to Los Angeles right now? God's in the voice of a 14-year-old girl named Sadie Zeeler. With a name like Sadie, how could she not speak wisdom? She says, there is no more PJTC building, but we still have PJTC because it's in our soul. A 14-year-old speaks with the wisdom of our tradition. Sadie tapped into the core of what it means to be a Jew, a core Jewish idea that places aren't sacred. Places come and go. We have 2 temples that came and went. We have entire cities that were destroyed. We have entire buildings in Eastern and Western Europe are gone. But the places themselves are not sacred. This weekend is Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel's yahrzeit. And he famously said that we build not cathedrals in space, but cathedrals in time. Time is sacred to us. We take our kedusha, we take our holiness with us wherever we go. And we've been doing that for over 2,000 years. And Sadie, at the ripe age of 14, understands that. I think much more than perhaps some of the adults. She realizes that the building is gone, yes, but that doesn't mean that Judaism is gone. Doesn't mean that her community is gone. What it means is they have to behave like Jews have behaved for 2,000 years. We're portable. Our religion goes with us. Wherever we go, our holiness is there. And God is the voice coming out of the silence right now, the silence of the world, but not a negative silence. It's a silence of ein milim. There are no words. When we learned what happened in Israel October 7th, twice 2 years ago, there were no words. And there are no words right now. Moshe in this week's Parsha has no words. Because whatever he feels he can say will not have enough meaning. And there's no words. But there are voices coming out of the silence. In the courage of the firefighters, up against something that no one imagined. Millions of acres on fire, no one's fault, in the midst of a drought, in the midst of lower reservoirs because of the drought, water shortage because so much water is being used. It's hard to refill what needs to be refilled. It's in the selflessness of the first responders, people who run into burning things that no sane person would run into in the hope of saving a life. It's in the generosity of those who will give out of their kindness, out of their desire to help rebuild. And if God's voice is most heard in the resilience of all who are there and promise to come back. This week, Moshe met God at a burning bush. The Torah teaches us that the burning bush was not consumed, that the fire was immense. The fire was very powerful, but it did not destroy. In Los Angeles, they're fighting fire that destroys. But my hope and my prayer for them this week is that their faith and the resilience of those who are at the heart of the threat, who are experiencing this right now, that they see it like the bush that Moshe encountered, a bush that burns, but a bush that will not be consumed. And may their faith and their trust in God be the same. Shabbat Shalom. We'll have Kiddush. Vayher vayivoker yom hashishi, vayachulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzevam, vayachal Elohim bayom hashvi melachto asher asa, vayishvot bayom hashvi mikol melachto asher asa, vayavarech Elohim et yom hashvi, vayikadesh shemo v'chol Vayikadesh oto ki bo shavat mikol malachto asher bara Elohim la'asot. Sabri. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu B'Shabbat Kodsho, B'Ahava Ratzon, In Chilanu, Zigara L'Maaseh V'Reishit, Kihu Yom Techila, L'Mikra'e Kodesh, Zecher L'Tziat Mitzrayim, Kivanu V'Acharta, V'Otanu Kidashta, Mikol Hamim, V'Shabbat Kodshecha, V'Ahava Uvratzon, Inchaltanu, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Please remain standing, page 282. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'tei gdula liotzer b'reshit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkeinu chahem, v'gohor aleinu k'chol ha'monam. V'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu notei shamayim v'yoser haaretz u'moshe v'karov b'shamayim imal u'shchinatu zo v'govhei meromim. Hu Eloheinu Einod, Emet Malkeinu Efesulato, Kakatu V'Torato, V'yadata Hayom V'Hashemota, Elevavecha, Ki Adonai Hu Elohim, B'Shamayim Imal, V'Al Haaretz, Mitachat Einod. Kakatu b'toratecha, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. V'nehemar, v'haya Adonai, l'melech al kol haaretz, v'yom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. This week we observed the following Yorksites: Minnie Mindell, Ruth Stratsky's mother; Janice Ambergy, sister-in-law of Judy Lundy; Harry E. Angel, husband of Doris, father of Candy and Charlotte; Rebecca Glick Moss, first child of David Glick's grandfather; Leonard Krasnow, Dr. Michael Krasnow's father; Nathan Shrinsky, Sherry Solochek's uncle; Ida Poland Mayer, mother of Joan Weisberg, and Stephen Mayer, wife of Simon; Saul Terrence Schoenfeld, Ike and Leo's brother; Henry Mayer, Paul's father; Zena Rudin, Hal's wife, mother of Vicky; Ray Ginsburg, sister of Walter Lewis Sr., mother of Shirley and David; Max Schoenfeld, brother of the elder Walter Lewis's wife; Jack Scher, Francis Block's father; Charlie C. Trout, Toby Murphy's paternal grandfather; Mary Cantor, wife of Jerome, mother of Rena Stern; Louis Mazzo, brother of Selma Mazzo Jacobson, uncle of Steve, and great uncle of Paul; Sheldon Levine, son of Ethel and Milton, Regina's father; Mary M. Milligan, Toby Murphy's maternal grandmother; Israel Lazarus, relative of May. May their souls be bound up in the bond of life eternal. May their memories be a blessing to us all, and may they always rest in peace. Mourner's Kaddish, page 294. Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Shmei Rabbah, Valma Divrach, Yirtei, V'yamlit Malchutei, V'chayechon, V'yomechon, V'chayei, D'chol Beit Yisrael, V'agala, V'zman Kariv, V'yimru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah, V'rach, L'olam, L'mei Maya. Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitramam, V'yitnaseh. V'et hadar, v'et halev, v'et halal, shmei dekusha brichu, le'la min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiram be'alma v'yimru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Oseh shalom v'yiramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. May be seated. All right, folks, services tomorrow at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m., Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Both of my classes will be on this Sunday afternoon at 1 and at 2. And then I think it's a quiet week. Last week we had a board meeting, and I think that's it for a little bit. So it's a quiet week. So let's close out on page 321 with Adon Olam. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'et Nasa B'chefso Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nivra V'yacharei Tiklot HaKol Levahado Im Lahok Nora V'hu Haya V'hu Hoveh V'hu yeh b'tifara, v'hu echad v'ein sheni, laham shelo lahachibira, b'li reshit b'li tachlit, v'lo ha'oz v'ha'misra, v'hu eli v'chai goali, v'tzorev li b'yetzara, v'hu nisi umanos li, Menat kosi biomekra biahado akid ruchi bieti shan biahira bimruchi deviati Adonai li velo ira. Let's see who's on the computer. Heather Watts, Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Heather. David Johnson, Shabbat Shalom. There's Mom. Shabbat Shalom to all from Rabbi's Mom and Cliff from very cold Pennsylvania. Stay warm and safe. Careful walking, Rabbi. Thank you. Donna Wilson, Shabbat Shalom. Thank you all. Shabbat Shalom to you, Donna. All right, everyone, have a Shabbat Shalom, a good Shabbos, and please be careful out there, whether it's in the snow, the ice, or in the warmth, wherever you are, just be careful.